The Mitsubishi Montero Sport is one of the most popular SUVs in our market today. In typical Mitsubishi tradition, putting sport at the end of any model name means that it is the junior, the smaller version of that model. In this case, the smaller version of the Montero, which we know in our market to be the Pajero. You may be wondering why we're starting from the back of the Mitsubishi Montero Sport. And that's because I just wanted to get it out of the way. This is the part of the car that everyone just loves to hate. It's flat, it's rather featureless, apart from the crying taillight, which it has such mixed reviews that people actually developed a cover for it, just to shorten this bit right here. But don't get me wrong, it may be a love it or hate it kind of thing, but it's all uphill from here. Futuristic, high-tech, maporma. These are just some of the words that people actually use to describe the Mitsubishi Montero Sport. Now, Mitsubishi wants to use the term dynamic shield because that's their design language, but personally, I just like it. What sets the Montero Sport apart is that Mitsubishi built a cockpit around the driver. You've got a nice steering wheel, a nice pair of paddle shifters, perfectly placed pedals, and this raised portion that, quite frankly, creates a cozy space for the driver. Being an affordable version of the Montero Sport, Mitsubishi did put in an automatic dual-zone climate control system. What that means is I can have a different temperature setting on my side, while the passenger, if he or she likes warmer temperatures, they can have a different setting as well. And there's also an AC system for the rear. At the top of the center stack is a 2-DIN multimedia audio system that even comes with navigation. It can play DVDs, USB flash drives, your iPod, or even via Bluetooth. The multimedia system can display important information like your battery voltage, your altitude, barometric air pressure, and even tire pressures for all 5 tires. Yes, including the spare. But what about the second row? You've got plenty of legroom, you've got nice soft seats, you've got charging outlets for whatever you need, you've got a center armrest with cup holders, and if you need to get into the back, a one-touch fold and tumble system. The third row is actually quite a requirement for this class. And of course, the Mitsubishi Montero has a nice little third row. Now, it's nice and soft as well, but it's really best left for children and for smaller and slimmer individuals. One thing I really wanted Mitsubishi to improve on with the Montero Sport from the previous generation was the folding mechanism for the third row. Case in point, it's actually really complicated. You have to pull these to fold up the seat cushions, the lower seat cushions, and then you pull this, fold that down, and this to fold that down. It can be a real pain when it comes to folding it all back up because you have to go around and inside to do so. It just makes me wish that they had adopted the one-touch folding mechanism from many competitor models. All Montero Sports come with a 2.4-liter 4N15 Mavic engine. Now, it sounds really small for a 3-row SUV, but let me tell you, 181 horsepower and 430 Newton meters of torque. That's no laughing matter. That's plenty for this SUV. Now, the most affordable variant of the Montero Sport is actually the GLX 2-wheel drive manual. The one we're driving now is the GLS 2-wheel drive automatic. What that means is that this Montero Sport comes with an 8-speed automatic gearbox driving the rear wheels. It actually sounds like Mitsubishi just put as many gears as they want into the gearbox, hoping it'll run well. But no, they actually fine-tuned it to perform really well together, that It's very smooth in the city and very quiet on the highway. And more than that, if you actually step on it to get full acceleration, it will react pretty quickly. If at any point you want to do the shifting yourself and have a bit of fun, you can do it via the shifter, or better yet, you can use the paddle shifters right here behind the steering wheel. And mind you, these are the best in the class. The really good thing about the Montero Sport is the way the suspension absorbs the bumps. Whether you're on concrete, whether you're on the highway, it doesn't matter. The ride is just really good. And that's what the Montero has been known for since 2008. Maneuvering in tight city streets like this, it's just perfectly fine. And I think that's also the appeal of the Montero Sport. You've got a commanding view of the road, you've got big windows, you've got a nice steering wheel that is not too light, nor is it too heavy. It's just perfect the way it is. The Montero Sport is actually in a class of vehicle that is known as the PPV. No, not pay-per-view. It's called the Pickup Passenger Vehicle class. What that means is the Montero actually shares a lot with its pickup brother, which is the Strada. The major difference between a pickup and a pickup passenger vehicle like this Montero Sport is the suspension. Whereas a pickup would have leaf spring rear suspension, perfect for carrying weight but not exactly great for a ride, the Montero Sport uses all coil springs on all four sides. What that means is that you get a ride that's much more pliant and definitely much more comfortable than you would get in any pickup. Rough concrete on EDSA, not a problem. Tarmac on the highway, not a problem. If you run into a pothole, it's not a problem either, but you have to be careful because you might end up flattening one of your tires. Mitsubishi really knows their thing when it comes to tuning out an SUV, especially like this. But if you do get a chance to take the Montero Sport out of town, maybe even a winding road or two, you will really enjoy it. It really is one of the best handling SUVs in the market. If there's one thing that the Mitsubishi Montero Sport makes absolutely clear, is that it's not for everyone, especially when it comes to the looks. And that's perfectly fine because it excels in so many different aspects. Driving, ride, comfort, features, everything you can get with this version of the Montero Sport. Now, this may not be all the bells and whistles, the top of the line model of the Montero Sport. That's perfect too, because it's a great SUV for the city and a really perfect one if you're driving away from it. This is Vince from AutoIndustriya, and I hope you have a great drive this 2019.